Taja, and if you missed the conductivity lab, you are watching this virtual lab. So let's get started. Um, in class, we did a demo with these four substances, starting with potassium bromide. You can see that there is a copy of your lab book pages here on the table and a protective cover. The first column is a bond type. We're going to skip that for now. That's going to be for you to determine based on our class discussion after you test the conductivity as a solid and in solution. So let's get started. First here I have solid potassium bromide, and you can see that when I touch the conductivity meter, there's no change, no lights up here. On the back of the conductivity meter, based on what lights up, the red light, the green light, or both, you can determine how conductive something is. When I touch this salt or a paper, for example, you can see there is indeed no change. So on your workbook page where it says conductivity as a solid, because we see no lights turn on, I would write none in this box. Now I'm going to take some water to that solid and I'm going to make a solution and I'm going to retest. So if I retest this, you can now see that we do have a light. And since both lights are illuminated, I would call this high conductivity. Before changing substances, I'm going to clean my conductivity meter and we will move on to the next test. So the next one is cornstarch. You can determine your conductivity. I will make my cornstarch solution. And you can determine that we do have one light lit up. The green one is off. So I would call this low to medium conductivity. Next, I have some distilled water. So distilled water, or also sometimes called deionized water. Thinking about what if tap water would have the same results. I have a little sample of tap water over here, and we can test the tap water and think about what is the difference between tap water and distilled water. And I think it's easier if we talk or use the word deionized water. If we think about it, what in water is making it conductive? And it's the ions. So if I remove those ions or have deionized water, essentially I just have water with those covalent bonds. Why is tap water conductive? Is tap water pure water? Then lastly down here we have some ethanol. Just a couple drops. And you can record your result there. Okay. All right, moving on to the next page. We have charcoal at the top. Again, I'm just gonna have you collect the data and you can go back and determine bond type at a later time. So charcoal, and charcoal is not soluble in water. We could try getting it a little wet. And then graphite. Next I have solid sodium sulfate. I'm going to make my sodium sulfate solution. Next, I'm on the sugar line as a solid. And in solution. For aluminum. It's a solid. Aluminum doesn't dissolve in water, so we can skip that. Sodium chloride, or otherwise known as table salt, as a solid. And in solution. And if I'm going too fast, feel free to pause and move on. Next, we have copper metal. And lastly, silicon. All right, collect your data and complete your analysis. And we look forward to seeing you in class next time. Have a great day.